Hey everyone, welcome into the Arena Fantasy Series discussion portal here on the Arena Productions. I'm your host Expat along with my co-host Burley. How you doing, Burley?
I'm doing good. Got out of the mines. How are you doing, Expat?
Got out of the mine, yeah. And we'll find out later on what you mined later on. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. So, of course, another episode of the Rings of Power, and we're going to be doing our review and discussion of Episode 5, Partings, for, of course, The Lord of the Rings of Power. But before we start, I just want to let all of you know that this will be a spoiler-filled episode, of course, of our review and discussion of the episode. So if you have not watched Episode 5 of The Rings of Power, please go and watch that and then come back and enjoy our review and discussion of it here. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into it, Burley. So obviously, the episode starts. We get, of course, Nori. We get back to the Harfoots again. And of course, Nori and her friend here. And the Meteor Man, as I'm calling him, the Meteor Man. And I'm just going to keep calling him the Meteor Man until we actually find out who he really is. But yeah, I mean, I really love the scenes where they're going through, you know, all of the lands, and they have, of course, the full song and everything. It was very Lord of the Rings like. How did you feel about that part?
I enjoyed it. Like like you said, it is the Lord of the Rings. Like you get the vibes of the Shire, the Hobbits, and all that, and then just them with their little travels, their big migration they're doing.
Right. Yeah, it's all about the migration and everything. But it seems like, a lot of the land had been corrupted, it seems, as they're doing their migration and all. And then, of course, they encounter a few beasts that are about to eat them alive. But then the Meteor Man, of course, who is now actually starting to speak their language a little bit. He's actually learning some of the language. As they're teaching him, but he stands in the way and he protects them from the beasts, and he puts his arm down and all the magic comes out and the beasts run away, but then of course his arm turns black, which is really interesting. Like it was his arm was infected or something like that from using the magic. And then he puts his arm into, like the water and freezes the water with more magic. And as he's doing it, of course, Nori's hand gets stuck in there with it. And then obviously, as he knocks her out there, she kind of like, flies about 5 feet in the air and then lands on the ground, and she freaks out and then she runs away. What did you think of that?
I really like that scene because it gives you a little bit about this character, the Meteor Man, as we're dubbing him. It shows, hey, he's got magic.
Yes.
But is he fully in control? Because like when he is doing the ice spell to heal his arm and all that, you can tell he is so focused in on it. Mm-hmm. He can't even hear her. He is and then when he starts to hear her, he just snaps out. We're like, what? And sends her flying, and she's now afraid because she now sees, he can be dangerous to us if he is so focused. He might not know what he's doing.
Right. And as he was like casting the spell to make his arm freeze up in the water there, he was speaking a different language. So I'm wondering what language that was that he was speaking. But anyway, so let's move on. And obviously, we get this scene here in this image. Basically, these people, whoever they are after the Meteor Man because they are at the Meteor site and they are investigating it. Yes. So who do you think these people are, Burley?
I'm going to butcher the pronunciation on this. I think they are part of the Valinor. Like the gods of Middle Earth that send these, that have sent, they're the ones that send the wizards, the 5 great wizards, to Middle Earth. So I think they are part of them, or in whether or not they're them itself or people that work for them, who knows?
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the Southlands, obviously, and Adar. Of course, we get the scene with Adar and one of his, I guess, lieutenants, orcs. And then he has the orc put out his hand in the sunlight, and of course, it starts burning his flesh and everything. And basically, he's commanding this orc to get the orcs ready because they're about to start the campaign against the humans and move against the tower. So what did you think of this scene, Burley?
I like this scene because it's showing he takes a look at his own orc true and sees, because he saw that he got damaged by what he's been looking for, that we learn later in the episode. I'm just going to say the key.
Yeah.
So,
and we're going to talk about that later, of course, the key. But
so now he knows, because this is something he's searching for. So he now knows it exists and where it is, and now he is prepping to go get it.
Right, and then we see the scene of the guy from the last episode that was warning Theo and everything, and they have the scene with them at the fort with Arondir and them, and they're trying to give them a pep talk and all, saying we can fight them and all, but then that old guy that was warning Theo last week, that had also had the mark on his arm, basically he's like, we're going to go back and we're going to bow to Sauron and everything. And so he takes half of the group and he goes to Adar, and basically Adar is like, you have to sacrifice this other young guy, to show your worthiness, basically, and that's all we see of them. So basically the old guy probably takes that, dagger and just kills the teenage kid. What did you think of that?
I like that. I wish we would have seen him actually stab, but they do the thing of cut away and an arrow hits the wall.
Yeah.
But and that kid, if I'm not mistaken, was the same kid that was helping Theo when they stole from the orcs.
Yes.
So
he
I'm
was
sure they
pulling the cart.
I'm sure they picked him for a reason, because they knew. It's let's get the guy that stole from us.
Yeah. So now let's talk about the significance of the key. Of course, the piece of the sword here. We thought it was a piece of the sword, but it's basically a key. So, and we see Arondir, of course, brushing away some of the tree, and then you see that, the bit of the sword there, but it's actually a key from what they're looking at there. So, what did you think of this part?
I liked it. It was a nice little reveal. We have this is something I don't know what this key is the key to.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's like some great forge or something, I am not 100% sure what this will be, but it's a nice, now it's slowly revealing more of the mystery.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like the
questions.
And I like the scene between Arondir and Theo, basically, when they were, Arondir was teaching him how to shoot arrows and everything, and was basically saying it took me like 200 years to learn the craft, in a sense, where for you only 14, but I like that part there. But I was surprised that Theo actually stayed with them. I thought he was going to run off with the old man, but no, he stayed because his mother stayed behind, obviously. But
I don't think he stayed just because his mom, because remember, he stabbed one of those orcs with the blade, and all that. They know, and the key. Sorry, we should say. He knows if he goes there with the key. He's even though even though he can give them the key and see, like, here, take this, spare my life, spare my mother. No, they're just gonna kill him. He's got a better chance of living by staying up here.
Yeah, but I mean, the state of things there in the Southlands. I mean, at that tower. I mean, with what's going on there. I mean, they're gonna get wasted. I mean, in the situation that they're in right now, in my opinion, with the humans that are there at that tower, they have no chance at the moment. But anyway, let's go ahead. Yeah,
they have no chance in hell, and this is something I kind of am surprised that they're staying in this tower. In the day, I would be moving towards the elves, because that's about your only chance you're going to survive this.
Yeah. Well, let's get to that part of the story because, of course, Elrond and Durin, of course, and now the king of the elves is involved now, and obviously, this mineral, as we were talking about, and what is this mineral called, Burley, again?
Mithril.
Yes. So obviously, the elves basically kind of misled Elrond, especially the king, in his mission to talk with Durin, because basically it seems like without this mineral, the elves would perish. So what did you think of all of this?
Yeah, this is interesting, and we finally get the whole reveal that the Elf King sent Elrond specifically and not told him, and was doing things just to try and find out about Mithril and all that, and basically being like, well, you may be keeping your promise, but you're gonna forsake your own people.
Yeah.
And then really putting putting the pressure on Elrond when it's like, I'm sorry, this is just bad writing to me. Like, you need to tell him. If you're sending one of your guys there, you need to tell them.
Yeah.
Because you know he has a good relationship with the prince that's in line.
Yeah, Durin.
With Durin, and it's like this part of the episode made no sense to me. Oh, we're just gonna send you there, but not tell you why. This just seemed like bad writing to me. But I do love the dinner scene with Prince Durin.
The dinner scene was cool. Yeah, I mean, the chemistry between these two is just awesome. I mean, it's amazing. I really like it. Even though, and when Elrond spills the beans again, it's like Durin knew that something was coming. And basically he's like, all right, well, okay, well, let's go and let's figure out how to bring this to the king's attention. Their friendship is really, really strong, I think. So.
And I love as they're going to the king, and he's like, "Can I tell him it was me that got the table for you guys?" Yeah, not a chance.
yeah, I like that part. Okay, let's move back to Númenor, of course, and we get, of course, the ship captain here, of course, and his son, and obviously his son and the mistakes that he made in the last episode. Obviously, his father's not having it. Basically, he's like, it seems like in Númenor you don't get second chances. I mean, it's
it's not that you don't get second chances. It's like his father. I kind of have to agree with his father here. He's like, you had your chances. You chose not to, and we've got everyone else that has worked for this, done what they were supposed to, and all that.
Yeah, it just seems a little too rushed, I think.
Yeah. Well, I get it. I get it for the rush. Yeah, I agree. It is a little rushed, but it's just like of him being like, no, everyone else did what they were supposed to.
Yeah.
Sorry, tough shit.
Yeah. And then of course we get Galadriel, and oh man, she's just kick ass with those swords. I mean, just playing with those Númenorians, just playing with them basically. And it's like, if anybody can get some flesh off of me, the captain is like, I'll promote you.
To lieutenant.
To lieutenant, if you can get any flesh off of her. And it's like she was just playing with them for the whole time, and then basically the captain's son's former friend, I guess, was able to just barely nick her. But I mean, yeah, it was just showing her skills, at the highest level there. That was pretty cool. It's to show her skills, and she is teaching a valuable lesson.
Yes. You just go for pure heavy swings on an orc, they can block and shit. You want to be fast and quick.
That's right.
That's right. It does make sense. And I did love that scene of just watching her, and just she'd have like 10 or 15 guys on her, and she's just got 2 blades, and she's disarming them, and she's just having fun.
Yeah.
And they're all trying, but none of them, they do have a little bit of the old Assassin's Creed thing of, okay, we all encircle her, but one attack at the time. And eventually later on, a couple will attack at once, but not all 10.
Yeah. So we get to the scene. Obviously, let me go ahead and pull up the image here of. I think his name is Farazan, right? He's kind of like one of the one of the higher ups of Númenor. I
Yeah,
guess he's like one of the kind of the
advisors.
advisors to the Queen Regent, and basically, he's talking here to, I guess, his assistant or whatever, and basically spilling the beans about, once this is all over with, the dwarves are going to be serving us.
Not
Or not the
dwarves,
dwarves. I'm sorry,
the elves.
the elves. I'm sorry. Yeah. So yeah, the elves will be serving us basically. So yeah, I mean, this guy, he's kind of scheming Game of Thrones style. What did you think of that?
Yeah, it makes sense. And as from what we've seen in previous episodes, he is this kind of guy. But the one thing we should say is the reason why his assistant is coming up to him and trying to get stuff is Isildur's sister is she's doing the version of, well, please stop this.
Yeah.
You'll make me happy and all. And it's like, and this guy's like, I just want her, so I'll do whatever she tells.
Yeah, well, basically, he turns around and he sabotages two of the ships. At least one of them, and then the explosions destroyed the other ship. So instead of 5 ships with soldiers on them, they were left with only 3 at the end there. But yeah, I mean, this guy is scheming and all, and we'll see what happens there. But yeah. So, and then of course, at the end of the episode, we see them sail off in the 3 ships with all of the, the soldiers, and of course, Isildur, he's on the ship, but basically, he's going to have to sweep the cabins and everything at the beginning. So, but yeah, I mean, and the one thing that I couldn't understand though is Galadriel, as she gets on the ship, she's wearing her elven armor. Where did she get that armor from? I mean, remember when she was on the ship, like in the earlier episodes, when her and the supposed king of the Southlands, Halbrand, they were on that little boat that they had constructed, in the ocean there, and she had lost her armor basically, So how did they find her armor? Where did she get that?
She didn't find her armor. What? In all honesty, because you can tell by the blades that have been made for these people, you got like, I swear, I think there's like elven runes and they're elven style kind of blades.
Yeah.
So Halbrand and the blacksmiths.
Okay.
I think made her the armor.
Made her another suit of armor.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say, where did her old suit of armor show up from? Yeah, that's like I couldn't get that part, but anyway, she gets on the ship with them and with Halbrand and everything, and they sail off. And of course, probably in the next episode, they're going to most likely reach the Southlands, and we will start to get some campaigns. Hopefully, Burley. We'll start to see some fighting. Yeah. So partings. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think we'll see a battle in the next episode, like between the orcs and the humans on the tower, and then after like a couple of minutes, we'll see Galadriel and Halbrand and all of them show up to save the day? What do you think?
Well, Galadriel and Halbrand are a while away, I think, before that episode, before they could ever meet up in that area. Yeah. Well, you never know, but I'm just having a feeling they'll run into other orcs and other parties of other beasts and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to get more. You'll get the conflict with the humans and the orcs.
Yeah.
And whether or not they're going to flee to the elves, because honestly, as the one they say, the orcs are maybe a few hours at the earliest and a few days at best away from them. They should be hightailing it to the elves. Like you have with what little's there and the one elven archer, you're dead.
Basically, yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what happens, of course, with the elves and the dwarves, and see what happens with that part of the story as well. So, and then of course the Harfoots and Meteor Man. You know what happens with that. You know, if the secret society catches up to him, we shall see. But yeah, we're excited for the next episode. Episode 6 will be coming out this coming Friday, so we're looking forward to bringing you our review and discussion of that after it drops. So until then, I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burley. So this has been, of course, the Arena Fantasy Series discussion portal here on the Arena Productions. So let us know in the comments what you thought of this episode. Do you think Galadriel and Halbrand will, show up and get to the Southlands in time to save Arendir and them? What do you think? All the aspects of this episode, we'd love to hear your comments about them. So we're looking forward to hearing from you. And of course, if you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like and the subscribe and the notification bell for when we drop a new episode here on the Arena Fantasy Series discussion portal on the Arena Productions. So until the next episode, take care, everyone. Peace out.
Bye, everyone.